Hey everybody, it's Maria. Welcome back to my channel. Apologize for the sound of my voice. I have had a little bit of a time. I got really bad asthma and allergies, and now I'm on prednisone, which is a really rough drug, but quite necessary. So I apologize if I've coughed, but I'm much better. So I decided to do the video today while I'm home recovering, because Lekato has been so nice to me in the past and reached out via email and asked if I would unbox their latest offering on this mini, I believe it's a keyboard controller. So without further ado, let's do this. This did come, and it came before the actual keyboard, and this goes with it. It's like a little peripheral. So when I saw it, I said, oh, that must be on the, it was like on two different sides of my house. This was delivered to the front and this was delivered to the back. So then I quickly realized it and didn't open it. So let's get to the keyboard controller, okay? Let's open this up. Hope everybody's been well. I know it's you know, it's spring, it's allergy season. Let's take a look. MIDI controller keyboard, battery supplied portable MIDI controller with wireless function, 25 velocity sensitive slim keys, 8 RGB, red, green, blue, backlit pads with velocity sensitive and aftertouch, 8 assignable 360-degree rotary encoders, so that means they keep going, they don't just stop, capacitive touch strips, pitch bend and modulation control, so that's like I have a capacitor keyboard, it's unusual, you'll see it. Sustained pedal port, that's good, and MIDI out port all in one. That's interesting, I don't know about that. Compatible with all digital audio workstations, that's what you use when you're recording on a computer or on an iPad, which I do most of my stuff on an iPad. They're called DAWs, or digital audio workstations. So smart chord and scale feature make you get inspiration easily. Oh, the inspiration is always hard to come by sometimes. Okay, so it's called an SMK-25 if you're looking for it, by Lekato. And let's do this. Whoop, I don't like to rip the box. You get a little paper you get a little paper user manual. You get the cord. I think there's only one here. Yeah. Oh, good. It's an actual full-size USB keyboard plug, because back in the day, I don't know if you remember this, but printers, I don't know if they still do, used to use this type of a, this is the first time I had seen this type of a jack was on a printer. But a lot of new keyboards are coming with a very small micro USB, which is just awful in my opinion, because the connection can get wonky and disconnect, and I've had that happen. So this is good. This is a larger one. That's a big plus, Lekato. Good job. Some of them are now doing USB-C, which is better. It's a more secure connection. Mini USB, oh, really bad. Those, I mean, micro or mini, terrible. Okay. I have a lovely synthesizer, and that's how it's connected, which is crazy. Okay. I don't want Gracie to get any of this plastic or paper or anything that she can. Wow, it's very light, which is also really nice. As you get older, you want your gear to be lighter. Speaking of gear, I don't know if you noticed, I'm a big New York Ranger fan, and they're in the playoffs starting tonight, so I'm not sure when you watch this. Maybe they've won the whole thing. Who knows by the time you see it. But love my Rangers. My brother's the biggest fan. He kind of got me into it, and then my husband and son started going to the game, and I went to my first game this last year. It was wonderful. Okay, so let's take a look. Obviously, we have to plug it in to do anything, but we could just look at the outside real quick. Okay, it's very lightweight, but it feels nice. I mean, it's plastic. Let's not, you know, but it looks well made. Okay, this is the capacitor. Instead of a pitch bend wheel or modulation wheel, you have this instead. It's not bad. These are your pads. Feel pretty springy. And these are the encoders, your buttons. Okay. And there's going to be your display, I see. A little plastic over it. Sub functions, it looks like, written above. Yeah. All right, so there's not much to speak of as far as what you see, but it does say Lekato, which is nice. Oh, and here are your connections. That's what I was talking about. This is a larger USB connection. On, off, and your sustain pedal, which I don't understand how that's MIDI, so we're gonna have to figure that one out because they don't look like they give us another jack. I'll be right back, I hope. All right, so hopefully you could see this. After I shut off the video yesterday, it took me several hours of playing around with this keyboard. The keyboard's great. Everything seems to work as it should. It's just that you have to use a specific app in order to make some of these connections to change the colors. See, these colors were not this color. They were a different color. I could show you. And you can change all of them, one of them, none of them, whatever. But you have to do that with a special app. And the app can be found in this little pamphlet. But if you lose the pamphlet or you don't get it or whatever, you can go to their website, Lekato's website. So you scan the QR code. I put it on my iPad because I knew I'd be using my phone to film this. And what's nice is it pretty much works straight away. I mean, what I did is I downloaded it, then I opened this app and I was able to get sound. See, look, Ma, no hands, which is very cool. Very low latency, by the way, which is nice. But I wanted, before I go into what I had to do to make it work, let me just show you how it works, okay? So first of all, I'm using Sampletank because it at least gives me different instruments that I could show you. So let me just show you the drums. So right now you could obviously play them here, but if you want to have the pads, you can play them here now. And then there's a second row. And you can audition kits. That's a brush kit, but you could do smooth ambience. So all the pads work nice and spongy. You could also, obviously, I think sometimes play them here, but it's easier with the pads because they're drums. Okay, and then what's really cool is, let's take an instrument. So here's an instrument. And these keys are not really keys, it's hard to play, but now, and because I need to speak with you, I have this, I don't have it going into my phone directly, so the quality is obviously not going to be what it actually is when you hear it in person or when you use an audio interface to get the sound recorded. Actually, what you'll do is you'll record it wirelessly through here, so that's kind of cool. You don't need an interface. So I have done that in another app, and I'll show you that in a minute. There's your pitch wheel. That works natively. And that also works here. See how it's moving on here? If you look right here, see? It moves when I move this, and that's so cool. So that works great. Also the ARP, if you press ARP, now you can see how it's just playing? And you can program the ARP to do different things based on what key you press here. So you would hold, where's the ARP button again? ARP button, and then you could do different random up and down. Now it seems to be stuck. There. Anyway, you can latch it. So if I press the ARP button, now it's latched. There's tempo. I don't know if that'll work. So anyway, that you could fiddle around with. If you wanted to use the internal ARP, you would press ARP, and then you can, let's put it up higher. Gate is how long the notes are. The order of the notes, as I said, up and down. There's a different order now. A repeat. I think this is, yeah, there's your tempo. Look how fast you can get it going. All right, let's shut that off. So you can fool around with what sounds best with an ARP, and then, you know, you can work with that. What else can I show you here? So when you want to use the first set of pads, and the pads work even when it's not a drum kit, but there's no rhyme or reason as to where the notes are. I tried to figure that out, and there isn't. It doesn't go sequentially. But say, let's go back to the drum kit again. Let's go back to the drum kit. So when you're here and it's not lit, that's the first set of pads, 1 through 8. I would have liked to have a little number that said like 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Would have been a little easier. When you press this and it lights up, now that's the row you're on. And they're different. You can make them different. Sometimes they're not natively different, and that's what I'll share with you. This is for scale. If you turn that on, you can change it so that either the chords or the scale, the notes rather, constrain to a scale. There are other things that I did not have time to get involved in because they will require a lot more time to learn, and that is scale, smart scale and smart chord. That is something you can delve into, but I'm sure just the way everything else works, that, you know, on the keyboard, that will work perfectly, just like the ARP did. And you can change it to major and minor, and it's all on the keyboard so that you can see it, but you probably have to refer to the instructions as to how to do it. And so now the most important thing I wanted to show you was that it works, which is nice. There's low latency. You see, as soon as I press this, it sounds. That's wonderful. So this gets an A+ in low latency. Also, it's very light. Also, I love the fact that I can be on my couch and I can have the iPad somewhere else and you can make music. So that's really cool. I like that the pads are spongy and that you can get them to work. I've had other units where no matter what I did, I could not get them to work. So this is wonderful. It's a little wonky, but at least it does work. I like that I can change the colors. I like that both sets of pads work, not just one set. Sometimes I've had that problem. And I love that I can use these knobs to control the synthesizer. For me, that's like one of the best things about this. So let's check this out. If I want to play this, you see I just did the volume. It says volume here. This one is cut off. That's the first knob. See the first knob right here? It's moving. The second knob is resonance. Third knob is attack, which means how fast the note will sound. The higher the attack, the longer it will take, sort of like strings. A piano would be more like percussive. See, that's a fast attack. But now I'm going to put it back a little. The release is how long the sound takes to die after you take your finger off the note. See, it's off. And then the release here, oops. See how long it takes to die away? And the volume I put over here, that's knob number 5. Panning is the sounds on the right or the left. Transpose is if you want to do it in another key. So C. You'll still play it in C, but it'll sound a different note. See, now I just, as sounding. That's probably this actual C. And then I only had one more knob, so I picked the mid frequency. See? So that's really, really great that this happens to have that technology where there's MIDI learn. Some of them don't have that, some of the apps. So this has MIDI learn. And the last thing I wanted to show you is that I just could not get, and this is what I stayed up till 5 in the morning, not kidding, trying. I'm sick, so I'm home anyway. So at this point I couldn't sleep and my dog hasn't been well, but I could not get it to work. I tried a million apps. I looked up things on the internet. I could not get these to work with the iPad. So I'll show you the app that you need to configure the colors, to configure the pads when some of them don't sound. So it'll save you some time. So let's go to the app here. You download it. It's called Cubesuite. Okay. And then it says, what does that say? Scan nearby devices. It pops right up, which is great. You choose it. And it's not like a very user-friendly screen, but once you look at it a while and get used to it, you can figure some things out. So the first thing you're going to see is that the pad color is blue. See, and it's pad number 1. And that coincides to the one here. So you see that one? That's pad number 1. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to change it to a different color. So you go and you just make sure it's on pad. You go to the color scheme. I'm going to pick green, and now it's green. So that was really easy. I love that. I'll put it back to blue. So now I put this back to the drum set so that you can see if we want to change not just the colors, we need to be on the drums. We want to change it so that we want to add sounds to these pads. And you can add anything to these pads if you could figure out what the note is. So when I go back to the app, I have to make sure that it's not on MCP, which is what it defaulted to. Over here it says type. So you're under pad. Type has to be note. That's the only way I can get it to work. So this note on pad number 9 is not working. Why? No, pad number 10, 9, 10. This is 9. I can't get it to work now. It's amazing I got it to work. Look, now it's not working. Oh, Lord. Nope. All right, so this thing is fiddly. And last night I did get it to work by choosing notes. But now it's not letting me play it unless I'm on the actual screen. So let's go back. We know it works. Maybe it was because I was in a different app. I was in Garageband and I was able to map it. But that's the way you do it, just so you know. If we have time, I'll go to Garageband and we'll try it. So everything works with Sampletank. You get the knobs, you get the pads, you get the keys. The only thing I can't get is the transport. You get the pitch bend. Oh, octave up and down works. So let's go back to the synthesizer. That's the high octave, and you can go lower. So that all works. It's a nice screen, although I really haven't found much use for it because it says just program 1. So maybe that's it. It'll tell you when you're in that other app what program you're on. So if you guys can figure out how to get the transport to work, please drop comments on my video because, like I said, I spent an inordinate amount of time, and believe me, this is a very inexpensive piece of kit, so it really wasn't worth the time that I spent. But as I said, Lekato's been really nice to me, and it's a really nice product. I get frustrated when not everything works. Like, that really bothers me. So I have to be honest. Will I use this? For me, probably not. I cannot deal with spending 7 hours trying to get things to work and then just being frustrated. If I want to use it and just ignore the fact that I can't use the transport, which means to record, maybe. And I'll share with you right now what I did in GarageBand. And that was the least frustrating thing I did, because I decided I can't keep trying to get this to work. Let me just make some music. So here is, oh, my poor dog. Okay. So we're in GarageBand. Okay, and I want to use this. And this is what I actually was able to map. So I'll show you. So this is some kind of Chinese kit. And this is interesting. Okay, so 1 is not working, which is number 9. And I bet you it's because I did something before. So this might be good. Well, this is pad B, which is section B. And number 9 is not giving us anything, see? And I want something. So I'm going to go back to that app. Okay. And now I'm going to go into preset. It's preset 1. Pad number 9 is not working. And it's on G1. Okay, I think this is going to work now, guys. And this is what I'm talking about. There's no, you just have to guess. Okay, I picked something and I got something. Then I was happy. I literally, it doesn't coincide. See how these go up? And if you go up even further, you can get different ones. You would think it would coincide here. It doesn't. And there's no way to figure it out. And when you look online and it says, you know, what is like a triangle for CC, and it might give me a note, it's not the same note that works. It'll be nothing. So I was just so happy to do what I just did. Literally just crapshoot, you know. All right, that one works. I'm using it. So because it worked, I'm hitting persistent save. It says save was successful. And now at least I have pads up here that all work. You know, what it just needs to all work, people. All right. So this is what I did in GarageBand, or will do. So I just played something. I'll show you how to do that, being that this is a demonstration. And then I'll share with you the final project I did. So since I can't use the transport here, I'm going to have to do it here. So all right, there you go. All right, we'll go to here. I mean, that's cool. So maybe I'm being too harsh when I say, but I never use it. I just have to get past the fact that the transport controls are not working. There are MIDI notes. You see, that's nice. They're all there, and now we can add to it. So let's go to, I love alchemy. Now, this is where I get crazy. I can't change these with this because there's no MIDI learn here. So it would have been nice to be able to do that. But we'll just have to use it for what it is, okay? So let's just record something along with that crazy drums. Okay, let's see what we got. That was silly. Isn't, like I said, this is just demonstration, not my, you know, not a symphony. Now this is actually cool because I think I can get rid of that note because I don't really like that. Like if I was actually gonna do this, I'd be like, oh, that's horrible. So let's look at that note in question. That right there. I don't like that. So I'm gonna delete it. Just like that. And that's another one. I don't know. Delete it. So you know, that's what's nice. That's what's nice about using something like this, because it's MIDI. So now when we look at it, we said done. I don't know if I hit it anymore. Let's listen again. And you know, it threw me when I heard that. It really bugged me. So then I didn't do something right here. Actually, let's do the whole thing over. All right, now that we removed that terrible, let's just record the whole thing over. And we just can keep going. So we add another track. Let's see. What do we want to do? We want to do strings. Let's just do that. See how fast? It's just make up stuff. Let's see what else we'll do. I'm gonna do bass. And we got bass now. An upright bass, of course. So it's kind of cool. I would say this could be something I would use in my studio if I can get it to work. I can't go through hours of trying and failing. It's just not, I don't have enough time for that. But I think out of all of these type of controllers I've ever gotten, this is the best one. And I've gotten quite a few that I've just given away or sold very cheaply because they just didn't, they're just gonna collect dust. This actually has great playability. So for that, it may be something to consider.